I was not planning on filming a video today. I was gonna start a new video tomorrow, but the book that I'm currently reading is just way too good not to talk about. So welcome back to my channel. I don't know what this video is going to be. I know it's going to entail a spooky book. That's all I know at the moment. But hi, I'm happy you're here. I started this book last night called Hollow Heathens. Cynthia bought this book for me last year. I think she bought it for me in the midst of fall, but I already had so many books on my fall TBR that I wanted to get to, so I didn't end up getting to this book last year. And by the time I kind of wanted to read it, it was like Christmas, and I was like, okay, we're just gonna wait until next year when the vibes are right. Randomly picked this up last night because I finished Nocticadia, which I gave 4 stars, and it was long as fuck. That book was so long. It was 678 pages. So good. Incredibly long. This book was very much dark academia. It was set at a college called Dracadia, which was a fake Ivy League school where this girl was studying this specific parasite. So the vibes throughout this book were absolutely perfect to start off the fall season, even though it's not even fall here in Texas. It's 95 degrees. I turned my air down. I'm in a hoodie. I'm ready to go. I got my Halloween blanket already out. I'm ready. Fall is here. Mentally. Now, this was perfect to kick off the season because it was very gothic, very spooky. The detailedness of the parasite in this book was perfect. The town they were in was just eerie, and I loved everything about it. Finished this book, and I was like, okay, what am I gonna read next? Looked up to my bookshelf, which we're not even gonna really talk about what that mess is right now. I forgot about this book that Cynthia got me, Hollow Heathens. And I remember opening it last year, and one, there's artwork in it. Love a good book with artwork. And 2, at the beginning of the book, there was this creepy little map of the town, and I remember the town being called Weeping Hollow. When I looked at the map last year, it kind of gave me the eeriness vibes of Mystic Falls from the Vampire Diaries. So I went and grabbed this book off my shelf and started it. I started it at like 8 o'clock last night, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm only gonna get like 20 pages into this. I really don't think I'm gonna read much. I'm super tired. I read 80 pages last night. 80 pages. I wake up at the ass crack of dawn. Let me tell you, getting out of bed this morning, hard. It was so good to the point to where I was lying in bed with, it's also available on Kindle Unlimited. So I was reading on my Kindle. I started with a physical book, and then when I was like, okay, we should probably wind down for the night and take it easy. Let's get this on my Kindle and turn off the lights, get ready for bed, and then I'll just keep reading for a little bit longer. It got to the point where I'm reading it on my Kindle and I'm like, should I just pull an all-nighter? I haven't read a book in a long time. I've been reading a lot of good books this summer, but I haven't read a book in a long time that made me want to binge it in a night. I finished the chapter I was on last night, turned it off, and I was like, just go to sleep. It'll be there tomorrow. It's gonna be okay. I couldn't fall asleep for another hour because I kept thinking about this book. There are these witches in this town called Weeping Hollow, which is set off of Maine. But the thing about this town is no one can really see that it's there unless it needs to be seen. So I guess, I don't know all the underlying witchiness of it yet. If the town is revealed to you, you are welcomed in, or whatever. At the beginning of the book, this girl comes from Texas to this town where her grandfather lives, and she doesn't really know much about Weeping Hollow or about the town. She drives there all the way from Texas to her grandfather, plans to move there because he's sick. She sees the town when she gets there. She doesn't know any of the lore about it. She doesn't even know it's witchy or magical in any sense. She gets to this town and immediately she runs into this man with a mask. There are masked men in this book. She runs into this man with a mask named Julian, and he's nice when they first interact, and then she sees this masked man the next day with 3 other masked men. She sees them when she's with someone else, and that person's like, stay away from them. And she's like, who are they? They're the Hollow Heathens, and they're cursed, so you can't see their faces. There's nothing wrong with their faces. They're probably beautiful and hot. Apparently there's something with their faces in this curse where if you see their faces, it's so scary. Not like freaky looking, like you get so scared. So they cover their faces with masks, and apparently they practice dark magic. And the moment I found that out, because I went into this book blind, I was like, oh my god, I'm loving everything about this book. I'm loving everything about the book. It's so dark, it's so eerie. It's dual POV. I didn't think it was gonna be dual POV. I thought it was just gonna be from her POV, and then I got a point of view from Julian's chapter, and he's one of the hollow heathens. So in summary, in case I jumped all over the place, because I tend to do that when I get excited. In summary, spooky town called Weeping Hollow. There's a map of it at the front of the book. There's these 4 guys called the hollow heathens, and they have been cursed, and they practice dark magic. Everybody's told to stay away from them. They can't show their faces because of the curse. And I think they're a part of one of the witch covens that is looked down upon. Those are the men. But we're just focusing on Julian, who seems to be the ringleader of the hollow heathens. Fallon, the FMC, drives to Weeping Hollow to take care of her sick grandfather, who didn't explicitly ask her to come there, but he wrote her a letter saying he was sick, and she took that as he wants me to come help. So she shows up and he's like, what the fuck are you doing here? He doesn't say that, but I would have said that. He's like, what are you doing here? She doesn't know anything about this town, but the town reveals itself to her, so apparently it wants her there. So she's now in the town, and she cannot leave because the town won't let her go until it feels like she has served her purpose. Anyways, she's now in this town. She met Julian. She met the hollow heathens. She's a mortician. The vibes are spooky. This book is engaging. I'm losing my mind, and it feels like fall while I'm reading this. I got my pumpkin spice candle going. I have my Halloween blanket out. Sometime in this video, you know what? Maybe this video is just gonna be a fall video. At some point in this video, we're gonna put my fall sheets on my bed because I have Snoopy sheets with pumpkins. And yeah, I'm gonna keep reading this because I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. Oh my god. He said, I'd rather walk home in this rain than be seen with you. I was actually not expecting that. There's something about him that's giving a little bit of Damon Salvatore. A little bit. I think it's because he's supposed to be so bad, but he's actually incredible. Why did his shout of go back inside when she came out in the storm like really make me feel something? Why did, that's like the bare, that's not even the bare minimum. That's just a sentence. That means nothing. But him shouting at her to go back inside when he's soaking wet. And because he doesn't want her to get soaking wet. I don't know, but it just did something to me. These heathens are said to not care about anyone or anything. There's more to that story. I just know. They didn't care about anyone or anything. Yeah, sure, they also used to say that about Damon. They were cold creatures with a cutthroat blood type. Heathens who stayed hidden in the woods and only came out at night. Before we continue with today's video, I do want to quickly thank the sponsor, which is Nathan James. We all know how much I love Nathan James. I have 4 of their bookshelves throughout my house now. I have these 2 behind me. I have another one identical to these bookshelves in my sunroom. You guys saw me put that bookshelf up in a vlog a couple weeks ago. And then I have another one of their bookshelves in the room behind me, right next to my built-in bookshelves. The shipping on all of my bookshelves was free. They offer returns on all of their products within 100 days. And for Labor Day that is coming up, they are going to have a site-wide sale. Their entire site will be 10% off, and then some specific pieces on their site will be up to 60% off. So if you've been eyeing the bookshelves behind me, or you've been eyeing anything else on the Nathan James website, click the link in the description bar down below to go check out their sale. I can't express how much I love collaborating with this company because I genuinely do love their products, and I think that if you've been eyeballing them and you've been like, oh, I don't know if I want to get them, they are worth the purchase. I just love mine so much. The bookshelves you see behind me are my favorite ones displayed throughout my home, and this is the bookshelf that I really make sure looks good at all times because when you walk in my front door, this is the first thing people see. Not only do these bookshelves hold my books, but they also just make my house prettier, more presentable, and they add design. Is that the right word that I could use? I use them as decor. That's what I meant. Once again, thank you Nathan James for sponsoring today's video. Make sure you guys go check out the Labor Day sale. Again, I'll put the link in the description bar down below, and let's get back into the video. starting off my Saturday morning at Goodwill because I'm looking for DVDs. I've been really into collecting DVDs and watching movies on DVDs rather than relying on streaming services. I went thrifting last week and I found so many good DVDs. I think I got a total of like 7 to add to my collection. The DVDs that I'm looking for are The Parent Trap, Hannah Montana the movie, and maybe like a High School Musical or something, and more Gilmore Girls DVDs. I did find a Gilmore Girls collection, only season 7 last week. I want to find more collections like that and more How I Met Your Mother collection. This is Ow, move. I want to show them what movies I got. Good sit. Thank you. I spent $17 at Goodwill. Found some good movies in there. I didn't end up getting Magic Mike. I did see it. I don't know if I've ever seen Magic Mike. I did get Twilight though. Guys, I found some good movies in there to add to my collection. Oh, and my Perfect bar that I got at the store. I got 3 HP movies. Kind of nostalgic. I got 2 Twilight movies. I got Breaking Dawn Part 1 and 2. And I got... Oh, this is new. This is a triple... Who got rid of this? This is a triple feature. Twilight, New Moon, and Eclipse. Why did I hit the jackpot in there? And then I got Mr. and Mrs. Smith, which is one of my favorite comfort movies. I love this movie so much. And I got this other movie. Guys, I pulled this out. I saw Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson on there. And I love an action movie. My favorite genre of movie is action. And The Rock is a bounty hunter who is set into the jungles of the Amazon to bring back rebellious Travis back to the States. When Beck and Travis recently joined forces to hunt down a priceless treasure, this unlikely team embarks on a pulse-pounding non-stop thrill ride. When did this come out? I don't know when this came out, but this just seems like your classic 2012 good old action movie. I'm just gonna plan for them to go over here for now. Eventually, this row down here is gonna be for DVDs. Maybe. My favorite time of year! Me putting corners on the ends right there. Tell me you worked in housekeeping without telling me you've worked in housekeeping before. It's so funny that Snoopy and Peanuts and all of that is getting really popular again. Like Bagu just did, I think, a Peanuts line. I'm obsessed with it. I want to get it. It's so cute how it's kind of like popular at the moment, even though I know it's always been a big thing. You know what I mean? My mom named me after her best friend Heather, so we both have the same first and middle name. I've always known her to be obsessed with Snoopy. I don't actually know if she is anymore, but ever since I was a kid, anytime I would see Snoopy growing up, my mom would be like, oh, your Aunt Heather loves that. So Snoopy has always just been like a really big comfort for me, like seeing this little character. Because of my Aunt Heather, I've always really loved Snoopy and Peanuts and that whole thing. So seeing stuff like this in stores is just like warming my heart a little bit because it actually like is so nostalgic for me. Okay, I need to go get my bedding because I just cleaned it so I can put it on top of this. I don't know if I'm gonna like the cream on cream, but I forgot I have this pumpkin pillow, guys. Okay, I don't actually know if I like the cream on the cream. Hold on. Well, not my favorite thing ever, but it's gonna have to do. Okay, do you see this rug that, can you see the rug? The rug that is right here, I have the same rug in this bedroom because I actually don't know why. It's kind of smaller, and so I went ahead and put it in my smaller bedroom. My plan for whenever I moved out of this house in the future was to downsize and not have an additional bedroom like that. So that rug would be coming to my bedroom wherever I move to in the future. So I haven't purchased a rug for my bedroom, but I kind of want to just move that rug in here even though it's a little too small. Should I do that? There's really no point for it to just be in that room. That room literally just has my cat's litter box in it and my twin bed from college. So if a guest ever stays over, there's nothing in there. Should I bring that rug in here? Well, that was not actually as smart as I thought it would be, because now I have to get the rug under the thing that I propped the bed up on. That was not very smart of me. It's all fun and games being an independent girly until you gotta do shit like this. Okay. Oh, please, please. Oh, yeah, yeah. Halfway through the book. I'm on part 2. There's a little bit of a forbidden romance between Julian and Valen. They're not supposed to be together because she's a part of like one witch coven, or supposed to be a part of one witch coven, and he's not supposed to go near her, so it's a little bit forbidden. But as the back of the book says, there was still this aching pull to Julian Blackwell that I couldn't escape. A nostalgic pull as if we'd been here before. Him and the Hollow Heathens, I think I already said this, they're trying to break the curse that's been put on them because no one can look at their faces. I don't know who put the curse on them, and I'm not sure if we'll find out in this book, because I do know there's a second book called Bone Island. I believe Bone Island, the second book, is a continuation of this one. If I'm not mistaken, it is. Maybe it's a completely different problem set in the same world, but I think it's a continuation. That one's really big. I think Bone Island, it looks a little bit thicker than this. This is a 500-page book, so that one's probably like 600 or 700 pages. Crazy. Anyways, I haven't found out who put the curse on the Hollow Heathens and what the deal is with that, but there is very clearly darker forces or bad people trying to make them look like the bad people. All of this is giving Mystic Falls and the Vampire Diaries, just like a different genre of that. I've never read a book that has given me the same vibes as that, but this, so far, it is giving me 100% the same vibes. I'm gonna look on eBay real quick and see if they have Vampire Diaries DVDs on there. This is my current hyperfixation. I feel like getting into your 20s is just all about finding hobbies and different hyperfixations to keep yourself happy. It really is. I hyperfixate on so many random hobbies, and then I'll buy everything for that hobby, and then I forget about the hobby the week later, and then I'll hyperfixate on something like DVDs. I don't think I have had an equivalent to the DVD thing in a while, but right now the hyperfixation is DVDs, and so now I'm like, I need to thrift and buy as many as I can find. And thankfully thrifting them, it's super inexpensive, so I'm glad this is not an expensive hyperfixation that I found myself in. I think I've spent a total of $30 so far in the past 2.5, 3 weeks. Not a bad hobby to have. But this hyperfixation, y'all are gonna be hearing about it for a bit. I hope it never goes away because it's kind of fun. I kind of like it. $35 for the complete seasons 1 through 8. This is great. This is great, and just in time for fall. That's gonna be the best TV show to have in the background during September and October. Oh my god. Turns out I have not been sad. It's just been summer. I always think I like summer going into it, and I do like summer probably the first half of June, and then I come to the realization that I'm not a summer girl. I was faking it for a good half a month, with dark academia being one of my favorite genres to read. I'm not reading a dark academia book right now, but Nocticadia, the book I read before this, was dark academia. The vibe of that just screams fall, so then that makes me love it even more too. There is this dark academia book coming out on September 3rd. I think it's called Immortal Dark, if I'm not mistaken. I'll put the title here just in case. Apparently this book is like a mix of The Secret History and Ninth House, which are two of my favorite books. This is one of my most anticipated reads for the fall. I just love dark academia, and with this being advertised as Ninth House, and I think The Secret History is mentioned in there too. I know for a fact Ninth House is mentioned. With this being advertised as Ninth House lovers will really like this book, I'm excited. Alrighty, starting part 2. I'm on page 271. Not there being blood packs in this. There's witches, there's curses, there's blood packs, there's an order, like the order of the witches. Are they called something specific? Let's see. The founding families. I don't know what the order is, but I think it's like the top founders or whatever. There's founding witch families, and there's different covens.
I randomly decided to start watching True Bloods. So we're gonna put off reading for a little bit and start a new TV show. I saw this fan edit. This would make you start a show too. Hate's a strong word. I really despise most new TV shows that are out nowadays. I don't really watch TV. I'll turn something random on the TV as background noise, but for the most part, I don't really watch TV or I don't watch shows. Nothing new just wows me. Nobody has wrinkles in the new TV shows. It's like the camera is too crisp that I don't like it. I need it to like almost be a little bit grainy. Shows that started or came out in like the early 2000s, but specifically like the 2008 to 2010 timeline, those shows that had seasons on seasons on seasons that started then always seem to be the best. First, you see wrinkles on the characters' faces. Second, the camera sometimes looks like it was shot on an iPhone. That's my vibe. That's what I'm going for. I saw this fan edit and I went and looked up the show, and it was started in 2008, and I think there's 9 total seasons. We love. That's a lot to work with. And the people in the comments were like, should I watch this if I watch The Vampire Diaries and The Originals and Teen Wolf and all of those shows? Everybody was responding like, yes, you need to watch True Bloods. I feel like it got 9 seasons for a reason, so I decided to start it. Shout out to this fan edit, but I feel like this fan edit is probably way further in the season, which, oh no, I'm just gonna have to watch all of True Blood this fall. It's a vampire show, and I'm here for it.
I'm gonna need you guys to get with the program. We're watching True Bloods this fall, everybody. You hear me? We're watching True Bloods this fall. I'm gonna need people to yap with about this TV show, and I'm kind of obsessed. Like, it's funny. It's making me giggle. And it's kind of like just ridiculous. I'm watching the first episode and I'm like, yeah, this was made in 2008. Okay, you gotta get on your Zoom. I need you to start it. It's on Hulu. If you want my login, let me know. I'm actually only 20 minutes in, so I hope I'm not speaking too soon.
Yeah, there's also nothing good in this one.
I love little wafer rolls. I used to get stuff like this at Trader Joe's all the time when I lived near one. We're gonna try one of these. Okay. Why couldn't I just make an aesthetic little clip of me opening this wafer container and then move on with my life? Why be so complicated? First, we're gonna try salted caramel wafer rolls. I love caramel. I'm a fan. Ooh. Oh my gosh, they smell so good. Okay, this is the little guy. Ooh. Oh yeah. Let's try pumpkin. Caramel one has a little bit of like a aftertaste that I don't love. This is the winner. This one's good. I'm a big fan of that. Wow, that was yummy. I did go ahead and buy some brown sugar as well and some pumpkin spice, because I saw someone make some pumpkin spice syrup at their home and I was like, I can do that. I can do that. I had some pumpkin puree left over. Well, not left over, I had a can of it. Forgot that I got this at Target a while back. I have this. You mix this, brown sugar, water, and pumpkin spice flavoring, and then you just like let it simmer on your stove for a little bit, and that makes some pumpkin spice syrup. So I don't think I'm gonna do this today, but I did go ahead and get the rest of the ingredients so I can do it sometime later this week. I've read every single book that I bought. I've read all of these. Honestly, if I can read the book first on my Kindle and then decide if I want to buy it or not, that's my ideal reading style, because I prefer to read on my Kindle most of the time. Oh my gosh, wait, this is so adorable, and I didn't realize that these were that small. Okay, look at how small this is. I recently read In the Company of Witches and When the Crow's Away. I listened to both of these on audiobook. These gave the perfect blend of Gilmore Girls and practical magic. It was just like witchy and cozy. There were town hall meetings in both of these, I believe both of these books. I know at least one of them did. The person who's like running the town hall meeting is like, everybody be quiet. Like, it was just, it gave what it needed to give. And for cozy witchy vibes, I recommend these. They only sell them in mass market paperback through Berkeley. Like, look at, they're so freaking cute. Then I got two books that I read last year by Bryn Weaver because they weren't as expensive as I thought they would be. They used to be like $20 each because they're both independently published, but I think I got both of them for $13 each. It like popped up, and I really did enjoy these books, and I would love to do a reread. I think Marrow is the one that I want to do a reread of. Actually, both of these I feel like would be good reads for the fall because they kind of both give dark academia a little bit. The FMC of Black Sheep is a serial killer, and the MMC is trying to take down a cult, and he is a professor at a college. That gives dark academia. These two characters, the MMC and FMC, are both serial killers, and the FMC is a wildlife biologist and the MMC is a forensic anthropologist. I just read this past week, as you guys know, I talked about it at the beginning of this video. I read Nocticadia, and boy, this is a chunky ass book. Chunky. Look at that. I went ahead and bought it because I did really enjoy it.
I just finished Hollow Heathens and I'm gonna give it 4 stars. I really liked that. I expected it to end on a cliffhanger for some reason. I think it's because there's a second book and the second book is really chunky. So I had the thought process of, if it doesn't end on a cliffhanger, what are we going to talk about in that second book? I don't know what we're going to talk about or what's going to happen in that second book because everything wrapped up in this one, and I really enjoyed this book. It was just very addicting. There was a little bit of a slow part somewhere around page 300 to 400. This is a longer book, so I expected there to be a little bit of a slow part. The rest of it was super addicting to read and super gripping and just held my attention the entire time and was just incredibly bingeable. This is such a good book to read during the fall, especially if you're wanting to read a book that's based in a town that gives these vibes. this is the perfect book to read. It is available on Kindle Unlimited. I will let you guys know my thoughts on the second book because I feel like I will be reading that book in the month of September. And yeah, that's all for this vlog. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next week.